Hello and good day, welcome to our YouTube channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview. Book of Mark, chapter 12. Let's get started now. The 12th chapter of the book of Mark contains a collection of teachings and interactions between Jesus and various groups of people, including the Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes. In this chapter, Jesus delivers several parables and answers questions about the resurrection, the greatest commandment, and the identity of the Messiah. The chapter begins with the parable of the tenants, which illustrates the rejection of the prophets by the people of Israel and the impending judgment that will come as a result. In the parable, a landowner leases a vineyard to tenants who refuse to give the landowner his share of the produce, and even goes so far as to kill his son when he sends him to collect. Jesus uses this parable to condemn the religious leaders of his day for rejecting him as the Son of God and to warn of the judgment that will come upon them for their disobedience. Next, the Pharisees and Herodians attempt to trap Jesus with a question about paying taxes to Caesar. Jesus responds by telling them to give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's, emphasizing the importance of honoring both earthly authorities and God. The Sadducees then challenge Jesus with a hypothetical scenario involving the resurrection. They do not believe in the resurrection of the dead, and so they ask Jesus whose wife a woman will be in the afterlife if she has been married to 7 brothers. Jesus responds by explaining that in the resurrection, people will not marry but will be like angels in heaven. He also points out that the Sadducees' lack of belief in the resurrection is a misunderstanding of the power of God. A scribe then asks Jesus which commandment is the greatest, and Jesus responds by quoting from the Old Testament. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus emphasizes that all of the commandments are based on these 2 principles and that loving God and others is the key to living a righteous life. Jesus then teaches in the temple and warns the people about the hypocrisy of the scribes, who seek honor and recognition but exploit the poor and widowed. He commends a poor widow who gives all she has to the temple treasury, illustrating the importance of giving sacrificially and from the heart. Finally, Jesus predicts the destruction of the temple and the signs that will precede his second coming. He encourages his disciples to stay alert and watchful, and to be faithful servants until he returns. The teachings in this chapter emphasize the importance of obedience to God's commandments, love for God and others, and the consequences of rejecting Jesus as the Son of God. The parable of the tenants warns of the judgment that will come upon those who reject Jesus, while the parable of the poor widow highlights the importance of giving sacrificially and from the heart. Jesus also stresses the importance of honoring both earthly authorities and God, and of understanding the power of God to overcome death and bring about the resurrection of the dead. Overall, the teachings in this chapter challenge us to examine our own obedience to God's commandments, our love for God and others, and our faith in the power of God to bring about redemption and new life. It also reminds us of the consequences of rejecting Jesus as the Son of God and the importance of remaining watchful and faithful until his return. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.